Well, hello. We'll start right now, even though my countdown didn't go all the way down. How's everybody this evening? We'll look. Oh, yeah, I got lots of comments in the chat. Sweet. I think Zen said she was here. Yeah, President Cosmin, send me Baps. Let's see there, Cosmin and Jen. We got Jeff Kane. Is it time yet? Yep, it's time. Jen Zinger. Don't make me pull his card away. uh, let's see here. Anybody else going on? Hey, oh yeah, Did you breed the Bullstream loaches? That'd be pretty cool. They're multiplying. Oh wow, that's cool. Very cool. You have them multiplying them. So that's very cool. Uh, Boy, I mean the last stream. Hopefully this stream will go better than the last stream. Hopefully I have good audio video too. Let me scroll down and see if anybody confirmed my audio and video is good. That'd be awesome. Boy, the last stream I was on, I was all over the place, man. I was just like, man, I felt like I was inside of a pinball machine. My brain was going all over the place. It was kind of funny. So hopefully it won't be bad this night. Not that bad tonight. I did video good. All right, excellent. Let me scroll back up here. And tonight we'll just I have a few things we can talk about. Uh, so okay, man, my thing is messing up here. Sorry. Went to hit go live, and I guess only have so much space to be able to save recordings. I didn't even know I was saving recordings, honestly, with this EV Mux. And it said I couldn't. I was like, oh, geez, great. So I had to jump over, delete a bunch of stuff, and reset some things, get back in. So I'm kind of uh, off a little bit. So why did the red cherry shrimp not want to share his treasure? Because he's a little shellfish. All right, let's see here. I'm sure myself. Uh, Celtic timeout. Gee, yeah, I made some people mods. I figured out how to do that. I just grabbed a couple. I didn't even have time to really think about it. Look, I just saw some names that I knew would do good at modding, so I just did that real quick. So that was kind of cool. Let's see what the time left. Let me see. I'm just reading on through some of the stuff. Looks like you guys are talking to each other. Let's see if anybody else just came in. Mike, hello. I just named Mike. I'm really trying not to spend more money on plants. But is there any I don't have? So there's so many that I want that I don't have any suggestions. Oh man, there's a infinite list of plants available out there. I do have red tiger lotus, but I don't have a green one, so that's a reason to buy one. I think they're out there. I don't know where you buy one actually, off the top of my head. I've seen it for sale. Let's see. Overgrown style stratums. All right, I'll stratum. See, I read this fluvial light striatum. I saw striatums like I'm assuming striatum, like a killifish. I thought it was kind of funny. Uh, so let's see here. Scrolling down. Anyhow, so man, I had a lot of stuff going on this weekend. We did an event called the Snakes of Tarrant. Not the Snakes of Tarrant County. Kids Gone Wild. Started a new shift too. Where I'm starting at 7 o'clock and getting off at 4 now, so I'll lose an hour's sleep. I gotta get to bed a little earlier, so just kind of tired. Hey, Jeff. Good evening. So the cool event we did. Let me see if I can switch over and show you some pictures. It's called the Kids Gone Wild. It's the down at the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeos. So I like to do a lot of fish stuff, but what I've done a lot more of in the past is the reptile stuff. So here's kind of a photo I snapped while we were there. I had a display of a lot of mostly native reptiles, mostly native snakes. We had a bunch of other stuff. I'll show you the setup we had. This is just the Western Diamondback rattlesnake. I just saw these kids looking in there like that, and I was like, oh, I got to grab a picture. So luckily, they were just sitting there staring and mesmerized long enough for me to grab a picture, which I thought was really cool. Hey, Mexicali, how you doing? Glad you could join us. Looks like Skitty. I didn't see Skitty sneaking in there. I see Jeff. Yes, there's Skitty. So hey, okay. Uh, Scrolling through the thing real quick. So this is an event we like to teach kids about, well, everybody about our native wildlife, especially the snakes and the lizards and things like that. I've done that for a long time. This kind of gives you an overall idea. We're in an arena in the middle of two horse barns, cattle barns, and I've done this. I've probably done this 7 or 8 times at least. And this is kind of before things got kind of crazy. Every year, it's just full of people. We get a huge crowds coming in, so it's starting to fill in here, as you can see. Uh, Quick little video. I don't think that's okay. Wouldn't poop all over the place, but every once in a while, get one that like this one. I think that one, a second one down, it pooped in there and smeared it all over the glass. What are you gonna do? Oh well. Hey Jeff, no problem. Uh, but so it's a great event. We've probably had there's thousands of people there. It's pretty packed. Here's another quick video, kind of give you an idea. I like doing these events. I've been doing these kind of events now for I don't know, probably 28 years or so like that. Come on, 30. I know that it's not quite 30, but it's getting kind of close. I started working over this way. It's kind of where I have a secondary monitor. I don't know if you guys knew it, but you could take a like an iPad or any kind of tablet and turn it into an extra monitor for your computer. So I have that because I have a really small desk I'm sitting at. So the small little desk, I don't have a lot of space. So I have that little pad can sit over there in a corner on this desk. This room's kind of small. Sits over there on the desk so I can actually watch. I can use that as my a secondary monitor without buying some little tiny little monitor just for that. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Love that. Love that picture, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. Let's look at a couple more pictures here. Give you an idea. Oh, there's no video. Hopefully the video is coming through right. It looks like it is on my end. I have a pretty good connection, so it shouldn't be a problem. This is one of our volunteers, Catherine. She is actually talking and letting people touch. As you can see, she's doing it very carefully. That's an eastern hognose, completely harmless. That snake's not going to hurt anybody. Uh, and that's how we let people touch things. We hold the head, which sometimes I joke with kids and people and tell them I'm giving them the dangerous end. And realistically, they're more likely to get pooped on or peed on than bit by anything. But by holding the snakes like this, it makes more sense for the public, and it keeps us, safe in case something goes wrong. I mean, animals do things sometimes that are unpredictable. I've been doing this long enough, and I've seen other people doing these events that have messed up. They had a snake for 10, 15 years, and the snake's been completely gentle, never a problem. And then all of a sudden it bites somebody. And it's like, well, no one knows why. Well, it's never done it before. Well, there's a lot of things you can't control. You can't control the attitude of the snake. If it's in, uh, if the snake is stressed out, if the snake is ill in some way, on a bad day, whatever. Hey, John H., how you doing? And you can't control what the other people bring, have at home. So how do you don't know that a kid has got a pet rat at home? He's been playing with that pet rat. Lives in his room. The whole room stinks like rat and mice. And then he comes to your show and you're handing him a snake. Well, and then he gets bit. Well, whose fault is that? I think it's your fault. So that's why we just don't do that anymore. We don't let people just free handle things. We don't let people touch things. I think that's important. You make a connection with an animal by physically interacting with it, which I think is just really cool and necessary. Oh, Fish Fam Link. Okay, I got a question. Is the Fish Fam Link, is that a person running this or is that a bot? I've always kind of wondered that because it pops up like uh, this is a normal thing that anybody could post that. So I'm wondering, is it a bot or is it somebody running it or is it a little bit of both? It almost seems like it's maybe a little bit of both. Uh, Same like outreach, like this matters so much as it does. Is that in Texas? Yes, sir. That was it in Fort Worth, the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo. It's still going on right now. It's a huge event. But let's go look at more still pictures here and you can kind of get an idea how long. We had 4 tables. This is one of the smaller. This is probably the smallest event we've done well, smallest number of tables that we've had out at this event before. Let's put it like that. We also have behind the table. We have a few birds too that Nature's Edge brought. They're really good friends of ours. That's Mario and Brandy. They run the Nature's Edge Wildlife uh, Rescue, and I'm so permanent under them, so I can do things with wild animals a lot of people can't, which is really cool. So I get to interact with a lot of different wildlife. It's kind of the same picture. Yeah, kind of same thing. There you go. This is a picture from behind me. So you can see the birds. You have an owl. There's a peregrine falcon. I think it's a falcon. Yeah, falcon's there. And then this was a red-tailed hawk. This hawk is actually it's probably 15, 16 years old and is used for falconry a lot. So it's definitely a seasoned animal done a lot of these events. It's pretty cool. And Forrest over here, he's a 2-year-old owl. He was injured as a small bird who's in a nest and someone cut down a tree this time of year, and he got injured. His eye and his wing got injured, so he couldn't be released. He was so small, we thought maybe he would heal up and be all right, but he wasn't. So now he's just an educational animal. Pretty cool dude. So spring is rolling around. So if you're going to be doing any kind of maintenance on trees, cutting things down, just take note. Try to make sure there's no wildlife living in those trees. Sometimes it's not possible, but at least try. We recommend doing it in the middle of the winter when there's really no babies and stuff in there. Yeah, if you cut a tree down, there's an adult in there. It's much better chances it'll survive and be able to move off and find another place. A little baby doesn't have a chance. And just another behind the scenes look. This is a cool little Western diamondback rattlesnake it's a piece of concrete that my daughter, youngest daughter, painted. Matches one of my snakes here. Another cool video. So we had quite a few volunteers. I think I had 8 or 9 volunteers, and we of course, have all the props out, the skulls and things like that. And this is a bearded dragon. You can't really see him. He's a bearded dragon there for people to touch. Let's just see what's going on. Chat. Isn't a hognose mildly venomous? That's a good point. Technically, a hognose is venomous. The term mildly is kind of, it's either venomous or not, but it's not very strong venom. It's not medically significant, we like to put it, and it's not dangerous. If it bites you, people have had reactions on rare occasions. They've had arms swell up and things, but in general, they don't bite unless it's a feeding response. I let my kids handle them and things, so there's really not a big danger for them. But technically, they are venomous, and technically, there could be poisonous too. The reason they could be poisonous is they eat toads, and the toads have lots of toxins in them, so that gets inside the animal's body. So if you were to eat that animal, eat that snake, you could be affected by some of those toxins. And their fangs are far back. Yeah, they're far back, but you'd be surprised they can still engage them really well. Like a boom slang, sort of, but these actually have fangs that can move. The hognose do. Just know that the hognose has fangs, tear, uh, tier of its mouth. Fangs. I'm not sure exactly. Rear of its mouth. Yeah, it is in the rear. I have a cool skull of a giant one that I had that Amethyst, one of our friends, actually prepared the skull for us, and you can see those fangs, and they do have some very long fangs, and they're towards the back of their top jaw. It's on the back, kind of points back weird. They use it typically to grab a hold of toads and envenomate a toad and subdue a toad. That's what they're primarily used for. I like snakes, but I'm always more into turtles as far as reptiles go. Hey, turtles are really cool. That's awesome. Uh, okay. FFL is mostly automated, but a few of us can talk into it as needed. Okay, that's cool. That's kind of what I thought because it seemed like that's what the thing was. So very cool. Market can be both. Yeah, yeah, it can be both venomous and toxic, venomous and poisonous. I think that's what you're referring to as it can be both. I'm hoping. On the way to pet shop. Hey, well, Craig's Catfish Cave, welcome, and hope you find some really cool deals. Something you've been looking for. That'd be awesome. Outside Aquatics, welcome. Uh, all the snakes I would want to keep, I hear don't make good pets. Emerald tree boas. Yeah, I would say an emerald tree boa is more of a moderate to an advanced level of care. You have to have humidities and they have huge teeth. They don't have fangs. Fang is something that delivers a toxin like venom, but they have these huge, I mean, massive teeth. When they bite, they can actually get down into tendons and things too if you get bit by them. A lot of them aren't real friendly, so that's an arboreal snake too. It lives in the trees and wraps itself around. Trying to deal with them, getting them out of the cage, and they just wrap their tails around things. It can be a little challenging. So those are I would not say a beginner snake. What you getting, Craig? Yeah, I'm kind of wondering. Birds of prey are awesome. Yeah, I'm also a falconer too, so going out and hunting with these birds, training them, and then hunting is just something that's unbelievable. It's an experience that it's just so awesome to me. Every time the bird comes to me and lands on my fist, it's just I don't care how many times. I'll probably never get over that special feeling. That's for sure. I look for some plants. Cool. Oh, just got a delivery in. That could be fun. So, okay, wait, I have a question here. There's Caro. Hey, Coro, welcome. Hey, Mark, do you have any experience with rough green snakes? Oh, I do. I have lots of experience with those. I've even had them. I've never bred them at the house, but I picked them up when they've had eggs. They've laid eggs, and I've actually had them hatch out in my house and was growing them up. But somehow we had a cat at the time got in the room and smashed through the top of the. It was a small cage, wasn't very big. It was like an arboreal type. It's probably foot and a half, foot tall or so, 8 inches wide or so, and it had a small top. And somehow the cat broke the top out, and most of them got out. I don't think the cat ate them or anything. It just got in there and damaged it, and I didn't catch it. So yeah, I love the little guys. They eat insects. They eat crickets. You set them up on an arboreal setup because they're actually a semi-arboreal. That means they spend most of their time in trees and they like to eat insects. So you throw crickets in there, put a water bowl, pretty good sized water bowl at the bottom, and some vines. You can make a really nice vivarium out of for a rough green snake. Make wonderful little pets. So those are awesome. Got to feed fish. Working for a while. Cool. I want one of those red and black bearded dragons. Do you have anything? You know anything about them? Red and black. You know, it's been a long time since I've really looked at some of the latest morphs on those, so I don't know much about those. I haven't heard of that. Coro. Or I learned today about fish eating semi aquatic snakes called the tentacle snake. Oh, yeah, those are not semi aquatic, those are very aquatic. That trick fish into darting into their mouths, yeah, by scaring them. I've seen those. Those are really cool. And that's not I wouldn't call that a semi arboreal, semi aquatic. That's a pretty hardcore aquatic snake. They really don't come out of the water, they stay in the water. So that one's definitely. Why are you always yelling? Welcome. How you doing, man? Thanks for coming by. Hopefully you enjoy this. So let me look at some more pictures here if I've got them. I'll scroll through the chat. Just more. I got a picture of. Yeah, it's just kind of the snake was laying weird. I took a picture of it. It's hard to see, but this is a fold out, and inside of here it has information about all the venomous snakes of North Texas. So there's 8 species of venomous snakes in North Texas, and I've got it all right there. In Texas, there's 12 species. Kind of look like this. Here, let me spin this around. Yep. So you can see me a little better. I'm kind of done with some of that anyhow. Here you go. Oh yeah, here you go. So if you imagine this stretched out, so if you look, I made this whole thing. My wife put it on the mug, and on the tumbler. But I got everything from range maps, information about the particular snake, a really cool photo, and the name of the species. So these come out really cool. I have made 12 of these, and all the pictures, all the artwork, all the design, everything is mine. If you go to my website, the TexasSnakeID.com, you can see pictures of those. You can see the pictures I took and the graphics I made up. You can even download them and use them for whatever, as long as you're not making money off of that. I don't care. They're very cool. My wife put this together for me. I asked her to. It's a little redder than it needs to be, so we need to adjust some things on it. Man, I haven't had Tang in a long time. Oh, that is so good tonight. Let's hit the spot. Let's see. Sure, have a good time by hitting a thumbs up. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Scrolling down through. Let's see. Okay, yeah, look creepy. Yeah, they do look kind of creepy. Okay, so let's do this. Let's go back, share this my screen again, and let's jump over to here. Oops, I'm sorry on there. If you guys have not heard of NAMFA, North American Native Fish Association, please check them out. They have a publication that is, man, awesome. Their dues are $30 a year. They have a big publication. I think comes out like once a quarter, if I remember. It's quarterly, or is it every other month? I think it's quarterly, and it is spectacular. It is really awesome, full of great articles about some really native fish. They're having their own. They're having a national convention coming up in May. No, June. It's June. I think it's the second week in June. I have to look it up, but it'll be in Broken Bow, Oklahoma. I plan on being there. I'm hoping I get some other friends and stuff that'll be there. Uh, do you have any inva- invasive, exotic, venomous snake problems in Texas? No, we do not. It gets too cold here. Most of the exotic stuff needs warmer temperatures. So when it gets down like it has here below freezing, it kills it most of that stuff off. So we do not have a problem with any really. I'm trying to think of any exotic or any invasive snake that's exotic. I'm trying to think of something. Not really invasive. There's a non-native blind snake, the blimey blind snake that's here, but it's not causing much problems. Thank you for detailed reply remark. I dream of a large planet setup with snakes. Hold on. Uh, with snakes and insects and fish all together. Knock a wall out and replace it with a vivarium thing when I win the lottery. Dude, that's awesome. That would be really cool. I've thought about doing that too, and that would be really cool. It'd be neat to add in a ribbon snake or a garter snake in there, and with all the fish in there too, they'll go fishing and catch some of the fish. So if you can put like native fish in there and things that would be normal food for them, plus the insects in there, and have a whole ecosystem thing going on, man, that would be awesome. It's an astronaut drinking Tang. Oh man, I just love Tang. I haven't had it a long time, but man, ain't no Tang long time either. I know. I just something it was up in the cabinet. We hadn't used it in a long time, and I was like, I don't know if it was any good or not. Didn't care. Figured, they won't kill me. Dog finds better stuff at Pet Barn. So I've got a few things coming up too, and I really want to go to the NAF event. That is something that it's like one of the top things that I want to do this year. I just think it's going to be awesome. I know there's quite a few people showing up. There's a friend of mine that's uh, was the editor for NANFA, and he was in charge of one of their programs for how people can do grants. You need grants for doing educational stuff. He was in charge of that for a while too. He's going to be there. I've heard that even Alex from Fishery was hoping to be there. Hopefully his health holds up and he can be there. There was just a whole bunch of people that I respect and I knew that I can learn some stuff from. They're going to be there, so that would be awesome to go. They what they do is they have their convention. They have speakers, and but a lot of times they're out in the field. They have multiple places you can go and go in the field and do some wild collecting. I would like to go out, even though the fish that are in that area are pretty much the same thing I have here. So I'm not really going to find anything really cool or out of the ordinary. But that's not really the point where I'm going is to collect. The point where I'm going to collect is to learn. I want to just hang out with all these guys that know more than me and better myself. So trust me, that's the best way to learn anything. Hang out with people that are better than you. You'll learn a lot. So, yep, I would highly recommend NAMFA. Oh, and go on to Facebook and hit look up the NAMFA's uh, um, their page they have. Oh man, they have the cover for the latest magazine, and I realized I hadn't got a magazine in a while. Well, it's in the newsletter, and so I had to rejoin. Hopefully, I can get that copy because I think it's a stunning picture on the front. Let's see, Jeff, where's the link? Where's the link, Jeff? uh, Jeff, I'm waiting. Hi, Sam. Who came in? Did somebody come in that I missed? Maybe not. Let's see. Anybody else coming in? I'm just kind of scrolling through the. The problem is, I need to turn this whole table a little bit, but I'll mess up my camera because I've got a glare. I've got one of these lights glaring right across the screen, right where people. But I just realized if I hover over the little plus sign, it makes it bigger. I can read it. Uh, I just said, yeah, reckon next week I can order some better plants. Uh, why are you always yelling? We used to get Tang in prison, and we made bomb ass chicken, orange chicken with it. Let's see how we go. Oh man, Bubba Tang. Geez. Recently heard that scientists are finding out that more lizards than we thought are venomous. Not just bacteria bites, but actual venom. Any truth to that? Absolutely. Things like the Komodo dragon, they're finding out is doesn't really have that much bacteria in its mouth. A lot of that is actually a toxins that when it bites the animal, that it wicks into the cut through capillary action, gets in their body and causes damage. But where things get kind of weird is when you start defining a venom. So it's like what exactly is a venom? So that's where things get kind of technical. Is it anything that enters your body that can cause a problem? Is that considered a venom, or does it have to meet certain criteria? So I think right now there's lots of different ideas on what a venom really is, and so even like bearded dragons, some people are saying are venomous, and they may be. I'm not authority on what's venom and what's not. I'm just reporting on what the discussions are. So there is some discussion that says they are venomous. Other people said no, they're not. I don't know. It's kind of one of those gray areas. A lot of times in life there is gray areas like that. It's not just cut and dry. Exactly what is venom and what is not. It's not clear. Even a species, even a genre. We can't even really come with a consensus on what a species, the definition of a species is. So when you come down to a venom, it's gray. It's like what came first, the chicken or the egg? Well, there is no point really that there was a chicken or an egg. Well, the egg came first, but the chicken egg. Who came first, the chicken or the chicken egg? That's when things get a little bit weird because it's kind of like it's just a continuum. So I don't know. I digress. Uh, I'm not trying to lie. The food made by the enemies was a million times better than the food they tried to serve us. Uh, I helped with making parole. That's craziness. Oh man. Uh, I have something here too. Oh wait, here's something from Coro. Let's put that up on the screen. Mike, for a long time, venomous was the only really considered venomous that they affected mammals. There are some other modern terms to differentiate in different types of venoms. I never heard that quite before, that it was only affected mammals. Because I knew for a long time, things like coral snakes, their venom is really designed for other snakes. There's even a little ringneck snake. It's got a rear fang on it, and it's, man, most of them are small around here. Maybe, I don't know, they're 15 inches or so would be a giant one. There's some other species that get a little bigger, but they like to eat other snakes, and the venom or the toxin in them is actually stronger than the coral snake's venom. Well, actually reacts to a snake more strongly than the coral snake's venom does. So, but if it bites people, it doesn't really do anything. I've had one friend have a reaction from it, but generally they don't bite people, and it doesn't do really much of anything. So they do specialize sometimes in different types of venoms are designed for certain types of animals. That is true. Uh, should have had the links posted in our chat already. Let's see it. Um, oh, he's feeding his fish. Yeah, that's right. He did wander off to feed the fish. Let's see what Coro has to say here. Like I know some anticoagulant venom only works on lizard blood or bird. bird blood, etc. The aquatic snake uh, uh, are where we're talking about probably only affects fish blood or nervous systems. I know the one thing that the Neurodia here, so you got the Rithigaster, which is the plain bellied water snake, and the what's the other, the diamondback water snake. Those guys have anticoagulant saliva, or whatever's in their saliva. Man, when you bit by those, you bleed quite a bit. So they do affect the mammals too, and their teeth are really sharp and pointy because they're trying to grab fish and hold on to. So they put the holes in you for sure. Let's see. Coro, Mark, have you kept the diamond killifish? No, I have not kept diamond killifish. If I remember, the diamond killifish, is that one of the ones that are brackish? It seems like it, but I mean, I would definitely not. I'm not gonna say it for sure. Inside of Christ, do any of you guys watch the World Times for Forest? Let's see. Well, Coro. Also, if the teeth aren't grooved or injection, etc., and the critter manifestation or choose the wound to get their venom or saliva or whatever in the wound, it's harder to tell, especially for with fossils. Oh yeah. Uh, so the hemotoxin will affect different blood, not necessarily any blood. I'm trying to think of what's true. No, yeah, there's so many different types of venoms. I mean, so many different snakes with different components in there that I would hate to say yes or no, because that's a broad statement about a lot of different animals and a lot of different uh, venoms. So I don't know about that one. Do Komodo dragons do that? Well, yeah, they do. They grab on and they chew, and man, they just mess you up. Let's see here. Koro, but that's one of the ways we identify different kinds of snakes, etc. Is the groove, tooth grooves, or whatnot. I don't know if we identify snakes that way. I can't. I don't know of any snake that you would use that as an identifying characteristic to separate it from anything else. It might be one of the characteristics you could use, but it would have to be more than just that one. Yeah, survival extremely toxic. Let's see. While I wasn't sure if lizards were taking an evolutionary leap in front of our eyes, the way you're explaining it makes more sense. Yeah, no, they've. It's definitely nothing. Not a evolutionary leap. It's just the way it's always been. We're the ones catching up and learning about what's already there. It's not the animals are changing that quickly. Oh, there you go. There's the fish family polyquarks. Oh, thank you, Jeff. Let's see, Koro. And if there are fossilized snakes that don't have teeth evidence, don't have tooth evidence of venoms, and we don't know whether they have venom glands, how do we know? The same goes for lizards. You don't. We're having enough time even trying to figure out if the ones that are alive right now are venomous or not. It's really going to be hard to check to to know if the ones that are fossilized are venomous or not. There's no direct proof of it. Let's see. Zen Ginger Jeff. I think he meant the NAMF organization, and Mark was talking. Yeah, I was talking about NAMFA. Not sure where I got off or what happened there. It depends on. I mean, we're getting so confusing now, and when the delay and things, I'm not sure what you're talking about, who you're talking to. Let's see. Sometimes venoms are targeted to specific prey. Yes, targeted to. That does not mean they can't affect other things. So, hey, Jenna P, welcome. So yeah, just because they're targeted towards one thing doesn't mean they can't affect something similar. So normally, oh well, looks like I'm at the bottom of the chat. Wow. Coro, not identify snake species. I meant identifying whether they're venomous. Sorry, confusing word. Okay, thank you for pointing that out. Okay, yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying. Oh boy. Hey, Jeff. Jeff, Mark, when collecting killifish eggs off the mop, are there Oops, it jumped. Are there sometimes eggs not fertilized in your experience? Just wondering. My Australs I know take a while to hatch. Yes, definitely. And one of the ways that you could tell immediately if they're not good is they'll be kind of white or a milky color. They won't look that clear or kind of an amber color. And if you pick them, wait a day or two. Usually it's all you have to wait. And then if you even have microscopes, great. If you don't have a microscope, look very carefully at them with some good light. And I had the live stream I had, I showed this on the live stream, but you can look inside the egg and you'll see a bunch of globules in there that I'm not sure if they're individual cells or they're groups of cells, but it'll look like tiny little eggs inside your egg. That means it's fertilized. That's the growth of the embryo starting. And then after, depending on the species of killifish, it could be just a couple of days they start turning black. Other ones will take over a week to start turning black inside. And then the annual killifish, it's a whole different ball game. Hey, Stephen P. Thank you for joining us. I should say hi too. I've been lurking. Well, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. Why are y'all yelling? You know the nymphocyte. Yeah, nymphocytes. Okay, yeah, here we go. Let's see. Jeff King, I think that's got to be it, right? Well, okay. He put two different links. One's to the NAMFA and the other one's to the AKA, American Killifish Association. And those are two organizations right there. If you really love fish, you don't have to love killifish or native fish, but you will learn a lot. The AKA's journal is a smaller journal, but it's full color and on really slick paper. Tremendous amount of information in each one of those. They're definitely worth the $30 memberships. Just sometimes I feel like I don't have enough fish. Sometimes I feel like fish are my only friends. That's funny. Good work, Jimmy. You won't get fired this time. Uh, these appear just clear. Don't worry. If they haven't fungused up or they haven't just dissolved away, keep going. It doesn't matter how long they stay in there. Sorry, unless there's some reason you need that container they're in. Don't worry about it. I've had a gardener eye for some reason now. Every once in a while, I get a batch that will go 2 months or longer. I still have some now that are back from beginning of October. They were laid. They still look fine. They look like they were just laid, and I'm gonna let them go. I've had them go that long, and all of a sudden they'll start turning black, and they'll hatch out. So, unless there's some reason you just don't want to keep them, what does it hurt? Until they turn fungusy or they just kind of dissolve away, keep them. They might just be in diapause. They just kind of slowed down. Some things that'll cause that is being too cold. If they got a chill. So if you buy a window, which is what I've messed up and do, I need to move where I have all my, well, not all, a lot of my eggs that I store is too close to a door, I think. And when it gets really cold outside, I think that wall lets a little too much cool air in or temperatures in there, and it cools them down just a little bit. And I think that causes a problem. No one could be as good as Zen. Let's see here. I can't be as good as you chatting. I don't know the reptile ones. It's all right. Tomorrow is January 31st. Yeah, no kidding. Man, it's already the month went by fast. Hey, Nathan. Thanks for joining us. Let's see here. What else? There's some things, I'm sure, some more stuff I wanted to talk about. Oh, I don't know if anybody saw the last stream and even on Facebook. I posted a picture of a Apocalipsis dei, and it was black and a really dark looking color. So it might be melanistic. I posted it in the Killifish Lounge on Facebook, and there's also one on the group band. It's called the Killifish Lounge. I posted pictures of it there with the normal one too, and asked if anybody saw it before. One person did respond that said, "Yeah, it's part of the normal phenotype." And when the picture was kind of unclear, it said it might look scales might be messed up or something on it. But I'm looking at it, live, and I don't see anything wrong with the scales. Yeah, there's no point not to keep them. Just let them go. I mean, you might be surprised. Uh, Poor Myrtle, in a way, Zero treats him like a redheaded stepchild. Wait, maybe there's a better phrase. Uh, are looking towards a February Fool's Day. I don't know what that's referring to. Myrtle deserves it. It's hot pink. Anyhow, oh yeah. So I'm trying to figure out what that is. Uh, what's going on? Is it melanistic or is it something normal? Oh, and then I was going to bring up too. We're doing my local club is starting a BAP program, the Breeders' Award Program, and a HAP, the Horticulture's Breeders' Program. They're just getting that started. I think they're still working out their kinks. I asked some questions in one of the groups and things we're in, trying to sort out some details on it. But I think it's going to be, I think it's going to work out pretty cool. I might do it because the way I have it laid out right now, just in the fish in this rack behind me, I'd be like an advanced horticulture. I mean, an advanced breeder just from them if I'd have documented it. Nathan, so I'm wondering on setup of the new rack, and I'll tell you, wire management is kind of a pain in the butt. Next rat, I'm running lights, etc. For be putting before putting the tanks in. Well, depends on when you're making a rack. Man, like I have behind me, it's real simple. I just got a 4 foot light that lights them all. It's a zip tie, put it at the top. Matter of minutes, I have it up there for all 5 tanks. So that's one way you can do it. Well, hello, Stormy Storm Riza. Like I said, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Well, welcome anyhow. Very cool. Uh, Jeff, anyone with better better manner, like a fine white line? Oh yeah, okay. Let's see. Let's see. Anything else going on? Mods together, stream. Okay. Anyhow, so what they're trying to do with the breeder word program, basically they have it set up in different divisions, like a mole program. One thing I found kind of odd, because of course I specialize in killifish, so they kind of caught my attention. They have killifish down at the 15 point, which is like the third one down. The second one, they just have one killifish pulled out, the American flagfish, and it's in the 10 point region. And so I need to kind of talk to them about that because that's no more difficult to breed that than it is like a lot of the other killies, the Australs and the Gardner Eye, things like that. So I'm not sure why they have that particular one separate out. Is an upper management mod. uh, Sam has no mod power here. Let's see, Craig. Come on, pal. You're giving way a complex. Nope. I don't like it. Let's see here. Anything else? Everybody's just. Uh, I trust you. Anyhow, so I think with the things that I've read already, man, if just what's in this room, all the different species I've bred, I'd probably be up to an expert breeder level, almost to the top. So one more above that. I think I need 20 species to get to that expert breeder. And I know I've bred 20 different species of killifish. You only need four fish to be able to put in for that. So that's gonna be cool. To get all the way up there to the expert, I think I need 33 species, and that is if I'm assuming that none of those will be on the IUCN red list. I think it's right acronyms, but it's on the red list. If anything's on the red list, you get 5 extra points for it. So I should be able to. I'm hoping in a year, if I decide to do it for sure, I'm hoping in a year to get to an expert breeder level. That'd be kind of fun to pull off. Uh, Which killifish lives the longest? It's a good question. I know that like Lucas Brett's, he has, I believe it's a Lamontii. It's an Epiplates. If I remember it, it's an Epiplates. It might be a Lamontii. No, it's not a Lamontii. It's one of the other ones. I can't remember what species that is. But he's had it for like 7 or 8 years, and the thing almost dies and keeps coming back, and it's living in these tanks for a long time. But some of these killies can live for quite a while. Most of mine are living like 3 or 4 years, as kind of an average. But if you're talking about the annual killies, those are the ones that live a year, or even less. But most of them live a decent lifespan, kind of comparable to the same lifespan of most fish that size, like a betta or the cardinal tetras and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it was a good question. So hopefully that breeder program will go smoothly. Some of the questions that like for the if you had to be on the red list, I need to know what level on the red list because they have a red list, but there's a lot of things on it. Some of them have not been assessed. Some of the things on there are just the least concern. They're not worried about them. Some are danger and threat. I'm assuming they're wanting danger or threat, but I guess we'll find out. How long have you had a flagfish last? Well, oh man, I haven't kept flagfish that long. So probably about 2 years. But I think they're going to live longer than that. But that's just me because I haven't had them for a long time. I have one of my 55-gallon aquarium out there. It's kind of a. I had some outside. I guess I get some in a little 10-gallon aquarium too. So I've got a few around that are bred and that are growing up. They're a couple years old. But I know they live longer than that. Let's see. Coral says I've had my flagfish for over a year now, but I don't remember when I specifically got it. You might be surprised that they live a long time. Uh, Coral, 4 years has been uh, went insane and murdered each other. Yeah, that sucks when they do that. And if you live up in the DFW area, please stop by and say hi at the next Expo. The DFW Aquarium Association is putting on their Expo on March 9th, and it's going to be over on the northeast side of the airport. I don't have the address. Well, DFW airport. Whew. There's a couple different airports here. I'm getting tired. Uh, I have a better story about fly fishing. As a group, no clue on the individual. Yeah. So the expo, I ended up with 3 tables, which was going to be kind of nice. I've only had 2 at this expo in the past, but I have a lot more stuff going on. I want to expand. And they had a deal on tables. The more tables you bought, the cheaper each table got. So it ended up being a no brainer for like 20, 30 extra bucks to buy, a third table. I was like, well, heck yeah. So I've got those 3 tables, and a good friend of mine lives near me that we kind of help each other out a lot. After I got my tables, I hurried up and told him the tables were available, trying to get hold of him. It's a big old fiasco trying to get a hold of him, but come to find out, he was working on tables. But unfortunately, the way that the program works that they use is not real compatible with mobile devices, iPhones and Androids. It doesn't work very well, and you have to go in and do some finagling. Each one's different for uh, what do you call it? The cart to show up to actually buy your tickets. So he was working on that when I was trying to call him. So by the time he got in and bought his tables, I mean, he ended up getting the tables right behind me. I was wanting the tables that he got, but they showed them being sold out. I couldn't get them. So something changed whenever he got in there. He was able to get them. So now we're, on there's one aisle's going this way, and we're on one side, he's on the other. So our backs will be to each other, which is kind of nice because I hate having, and this venue is going to be bigger too. The other venue, the space between the vendors and behind the tables was pretty close. So when you're moving around back there, it's easy to get in their space and they're getting in your space. And it's just, it's just cumbersome. Now that we have a bigger venue, hopefully I have a little more room back there. And since Steve's behind me and he's with Addicting Aquatics, and if we're getting in each other's way, it's not a big deal because we know each other. We're friends. Nathan says, "Where can I see what fish are on the cares list? I know the American Splendens are on it because Skull told me when I got them from him." Well, I believe there's a website to go to. It's not like super simple. I remember having to dig around to try to find the actual list, and the IUCN list is just as hard to find. But to find the actual list and try to dig around is kind of tricky. Cares for Fish is an organization. Oh, Cares for Fish is an organization. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Looks like we got the. Oh, there's the expo. I see. I was trying to figure out. Yeah, very cool. Thank you. Appreciate you posting that link. The people put it on are really good people. I really appreciate what they do. They do work hard to get it going, and it's been a success. Did the Houston show, at the end of last year. That was a big show. This is not as big as that. Not as many people coming through the door, but it's still a really large show. I wish they had a bigger budget to be able to advertise better, like they did for the Houston show, where they had billboards all over the city. They had all these flyers. They had smaller signage, but I mean, their budget had to be huge for that. They usually do it in coordination with a big reptile show they do. So they built it up with the reptile show and use some of those funds, I'm sure, to be able to fund to get all the signage and everything for the fish show they're doing at the same time. So they have a big advantage that the local club here does not have, which is very cool for them. And then, of course, there's Aquashella going on in May. It's the weekend before Memorial Day weekend. So Memorial Day weekend, I know where I'll be at. I'll be at the Fort Worth Nature Center doing the Snakes of Tarrant County. That's where I'll be every. Hey, Sam. I mean, Sonny. Sorry there. So that's where I'll be every year. But the weekend before that is two major events going on, and I want to do both. But you can't be two places at one time. One of them is Aquashella. The other one is the AKA's National Convention in Tampa. The Aquashella is here in Dallas, so it's about an hour and a half or so, depending on traffic. It might not be at 2 hours if traffic's kind of rough. But that's closer. Totally different events. I mean, those two things are way different from each other. The AKA event is going to be a lot more friendly, as in and cozy, and get to know people, hang out, discuss things, watch some great talks about killifish. There's even planning on a Monday after the weekend going out and doing some wild collecting. That's going to be much more laid back, probably a lot more fun than Aquashella, in my opinion. Of course, that's just it's all relative to you. But Aquashella is a much bigger event. We'll have bigger venues like Fluval's and all the big vendors like that. Have aquatic. I mean, doing all kind of aquascaping contests. Tons of YouTubers out there. It'll be more of a lot more people, and I might vend out there at the show. But the tables are pretty expensive. They're crazy expensive, and I don't know if I want to put all the money for that, and I don't know if I have enough product available at the time to be able to make that money back and make a profit at the same time. So it can be tricky. I like to do it to make some extra money, but if I don't do that, uh, let's see, caresforfish.org. Thanks for that link, Jeff. Uh, Man, I'm glad you made your mod. See, it's working out. uh, but if I don't go to Aquashella, then I'll probably go to the AKA if I have the money. So that's kind of like the kicker. I know that if I had enough product and I go out to the AKA, out to the Aquashella, then I can make some. I'll probably make quite a bit of money, and then I'd have be able to afford to fly out to the AKA. The problem is it's the same weekend, and the Aquashella didn't release their dates until the AKA had already finalized their dates, and they opened up the same weekend. So that's happened twice now in a row. Last year was did the same thing, so it's kind of a little annoying. And for the big, which shows the Waco, not the Waco, the Wisconsin Area Killifish Association's their big club meeting and show and everything was on the same date as the Aquashella up in that area. So Or was that the one in Florida? But it was the same date. So all these are coming on the same date. It's kind of annoying, kind of difficult. Let's see what's going on chat. Anything good? I'm gonna do something about this stupid glare. This is real annoying. It's in a right in a bad spot. Coral, Mark, are you keeping a Memichug? No, fundless header plurals. Nope. Uh, they're all other brackish. They're other brackish killifish. I'm not keeping any of the brackish stuff yet. I've not kept brackish anything yet, but that's something that's definitely piquing my curiosity, and I might do that. Some of the things I keep are some of the top minnows, like the golden top minnows, one of my favorites. You got the black striped top minnow, black spotted top minnows, plains killifish, Gulf Coast killifish, which I've actually bred those. All I got left is the babies. Uh, Keeping sheepheads minnow, which are phenomenal. You want to keep a cool fish that you can look at from the top down and get a view way better than any of the rice fish or any of that stuff. Get some of the sheephead minnows. They get good size, and they get probably 3.5 inches long and real thick and chunky. And they get these two stripes that are right down their heads that are blue, iridescent, bright iridescent blue, super active fish. You put those in I would recommend a 40-gallon or bigger. You need a little bit of room for these guys. They get rambunctious. If put sand on the bottom, and if you're lucky like I was, and you get a lot of what do you call it stuff, algae, any kind of algae that wants to lay on the bottom of it, that sand, let it do it. They'll dive into that stuff, disappear. Uh, Hey, aquatic moose. Oh, I want to put that on there. So, uh, hey, aquatic moose, thanks for joining us. So, and one of the other cool things they do, I didn't know they were doing this. It freaked me out at first. I thought they jumped out because I had to put a top on this tank. I had it kind of low. I thought, well, it'll be all right for a little while until I get a top. Come in there, was 20-gallon long, and they were little. I caught them at the lake, and they were small. And they weren't in there. I couldn't see them. Nothing but sand. All I had is a sand, a sponge filter. Couldn't find them. And I actually put a little camera on there and started watching because all of a sudden you'd see them in there. I'm going, well, where in the heck did they go? I'll put a little camera and I catch them. They were diving down into the sand with nothing but their eyes sticking out top of the sand. So if you didn't see them, you look real close and you can see the little head, little eyeballs sticking out of the sand. Way cool. Uh, extremely cool fish, and they'll chase each other. They love to chase each other. I've never seen them chase other fish really to kind of move out of the way, but they really want to chase and harass each other. I don't see them doing damage. They're just constantly moving. Uh, Jeff, I can find something, but I'm slow. Still feeding the fish. Well, thanks, man. I appreciate you stopping for a moment there and helping us out. Uh, hey, Nathan, thanks. Good job on the new rack. I guess I got to go check that out. Just rack out. Nathan, I'm going to check you out later. Subscribe. Thanks for stopping by. That's the other one I was thinking of. Yeah, and the sheephead minnows can be brackish or fresh. I find them 100% fresh water, but they can go into brackish water that's extremely high salinity, like way more than the ocean. They are one of the coolest fish. In fact, if I remember reading this correctly, they have the widest temperature range of any vertebrate that they can be active and healthy at. So they can go just below both freezing all the way up to I think it was 115 or something like that. They do good in. So they're a tough little fish that I would definitely recommend somebody getting. Just absolutely cool fish. And I put those at the bottom. So if you have a rack system, put those on the bottom of your rack so you can walk by and see that iridescent shine. The thing is, I took some of those at the AKA show down in Houston this past year, and Art was commenting that I had some really big, nice looking males and females. They were like nearly perfect. And he goes, "You would have probably won the." He was the judge of the thing, one of the judges. There's two judges. He said, "You'd have probably won best of show for these things if they were showing off that fluorescent blue colors on their head. You see them a little bit, but for some reason they stress out and they lose their color and they don't shine at all. So at the show, they looked pretty weak. I mean, they were just kind of like, not really pretty at all. But man, at home they are spectacular. I'm not sure if I have pictures and video of that or not. I may. Coro says sheephead minnows are a pupfish, like the flagfish are. Yes, they are a pupfish. They're very cool little pupfish. The only pupfish, other killifish, I think that probably can handle salinities even higher than those guys would be the plains top minnows, or just the plains killifish. Not plains top. No, they're just plains killifish. They are what is it? Fundless zebras. Those things can handle over double the salinity of the ocean. So if up here in the Brazos River, up into the part of the Red River, really the Brazos River, on the upper part of it, there's a couple of creeks. One of the creeks is called Salt Creek, and because it used to be part of the ocean floor up there, and there's a lot of salt deposits in the rocks. So what happens is when it rains, all that salt runs down into the creeks, that creek especially. It gets diluted down as it goes farther down the river, and more water gets into it. That creek is a little bit more higher salinity, especially in the summertime when it starts to pull up. So all that salinity, the water evaporates off, the salt doesn't, of course, and it gets higher and higher and higher salinity. So they can actually tolerate that extremely warm, hot, stagnant, and high salinity water. Just way cool. Gunther eye killifish are definitely one of my favorites. Gunther eye, and I think the what's some Gunther eyes over there. No, what do I have? Rochobi eyes. Those are my favorites. Really? Let's see. Are flagfish killifish? Yes, they are. They are a pupfish, which is a type of killifish. Kind of gets convoluted because it's like you got flagfish or a pupfish. All pupfish are killifish. So it's just kind of a naming thing. Are the ambush predators? I am not sure we're talking about it anymore. We got too many different species, but pretty much all of the killifish are going to be predators. So they're going to be trying to think of some exceptions, but I think they maybe not necessarily ambush predators, but they're just going to be active hunters, and they'll ambush if they can. Just getting also on a hospital website, look up how to do a main DR person thing as well. Huh. Glad Mark's talking. Let's see, what do we got here? I think I appreciate it. I think when I build the next rack for the 40 breeder, 50 gallon, etc., I'll do a better video of me actually building it. I've wanted to do that, and I just never. I'm usually too busy trying to get it built and done, and I don't video it. Oh well. Let's see. Anything else going on here? Oh, he did show it step by step. I'm definitely gonna have to check that out. I always take extra hints. The way I did it back here is probably works okay, uh, as long as you have a smaller tank, 5 or 10 gallons. Anything above that, you start pushing it. Weird that there's no fish in the salt lakes. Yeah, that's super salinity though. That's insanely high. Uh, Flagfish are such jerks. They can be jerks to each other, that's for sure. But I haven't seen any problems with them with other fish. I've put everything from what I have at Endler's live bears in with them and guppies in there. I've had mosquito fish. The guppies and the Endler's live bears were breeding in that tank. I couldn't believe it. I assumed those sheephead minnows would pick off those babies. There would be no chance in the world they'd survive. But they're breeding in there like crazy and growing up. I couldn't believe that we're doing that. Sometimes things just work, and there's no real rhyme or reason. There should be no reason that a small little baby fry should survive those rambunctious, super active sheephead minnows. It just shouldn't work. Uh, There's a question. Pal, does the peat moss need to be more on a real dry to the touch to moisture to avoid eggs getting fungus? No. The way the best way to describe it is like wet chewing tobacco. So the way I like to describe it is you take your peat or cocoa core whatever you're using, you squeeze it, okay, and you should be able to maybe squeeze a little more out of it, but not much. So it should be damp, and you want to keep it very moist, but you don't want it wet. You don't want to be able to pick it up and have water dripping out of it if you held it in your hand. You know what I mean? So you squeeze a little bit, so there's no more water dripping out of it. It's going to be pretty good. It doesn't have to be an exact amount of moisture, as long as it's not sitting in water or it's completely dry. Those are definitely no-nos. Somewhere in between. So it's without showing you, it's really hard to kind of get an idea, except for that wet chewing tobacco. I'm trying to think if there's going to be some videos out there. I need to make a video maybe how I do it. Um, I do it differently depending on what species of fish I'm pulling. If it's a non-annual or a semi-annual, then I just pick those and put them in water. I water incubate those. So a lot of people put those in like petri dishes on top of peat, and seal them in there. It works fine. It's just a different way of doing it. I like to water incubate them. It takes about 2 weeks. I'm done. Of course, the annuals, I definitely use cocoa. I definitely use the wet dry method. Oh, the ones you saw hiding in the sand, ambush bird. Oh, those. Those are the sheephead minnows, and I wouldn't. It didn't seem to be an ambush thing. These things are usually out in our both. I think there was when I walked in that room, was what I noticed. They'd scared, and it was more of a hiding thing, just hiding from a predator. It was an anti-predation type of deal instead of an ambush type of deal. I'm sure if they were down there and something came by, they would use that to their advantage. But it didn't seem like that was their primary function for that diving in the sand. And then once I saw them doing that in captivity, then I went back out to the lake, and it made more sense because every once in a while you'd see all these little sheephead minnows. I was trying to catch them, and they just disappeared, and I couldn't figure out where they would go because it was just sand everywhere, and I didn't see them scurry out. So I couldn't figure out what was going on. Now, once I saw that they dive, I would go at night. I love to go at night. We'd take a flashlight, and you would see them. You watch them. They'll dive into the sand. And once they dove in the sand, it was really easy to catch them. What's up, Nathan? You okay? Oh, what's going on, Nathan? Hope he's all right. Guess maybe I missed something. Da, da, da. Let's keep scrolling down here a little bit. Thanks for pick your brain work. Oh, no problem, man. That's kind of how I do these things. I didn't really have a really good topic tonight. Anyhow, I've been so busy doing other stuff. Didn't even get the air loop finished. Didn't do any more work on that at all in the fish room. Hopefully, with this new schedule, I get off at 4 instead of 5. I get an extra hour now in the evenings so I can get stuff done. So hopefully, I'll really start getting more things done. There were fish, yeah. Probably think the next shelf is a tricky thing. Yeah, it is tricky, and I like to use about 8 inches. Jadran Aquatics is the one that started telling me, "Hey, leave 8 inches. You're going to want it. It seems like a lot, but you're going to want it." I'm thinking, okay, I'll do it. Sure enough, man, 8 inches is about the right amount for me. Let's see, my flag fish were. Let's see. It says my flag fish is an a-hole, constantly nipping at the cories and bullying them. Wow, that's crazy. Because I've got flag fish and couple tanks out there, and they don't seem to they chase every once in a while. But goes bred with flag fish, yeah. You always have that one jerk. You can have just like in any group of animals, they're not always the same. They have their little personality. So you can have a just a jerk. Really bad toothache started Friday night. Oh man, toothaches suck. I hate toothaches. I got a pretty high pain threshold. Those eventually get me. Scroll down here. I'm getting kind of tired. Flyfish to chase the cories while white clouds and even the goby. Huh. Like I said, man, it's just there's so many variables to this stuff. Be careful. Yeah, I had an infection in the jaw and my upper tooth one time, and it got so infected that I didn't even realize it at first. I didn't know. I knew my tooth hurt a little bit for a while, and it quit. then I started getting like, it felt like an infection, like a sinus infection. So I went to the doctor, and the doctor gave me some antibiotics. Yeah, you got a sinus infection. Never looked in my mouth. So yeah, you got a sinus infection. Gave me some peds. Pain went away. Everything was good for a week or so. Boom, it came back with a vengeance. And then I realized my tooth was hurting pretty bad. It got hurting really bad at that point. So I went to the dentist, and he looked at it and he goes, "So did the doctor even look in your mouth?" And I go, "No." He goes, "Man, he should have." He goes, "You got a tooth that's impacted back here." And he had to give me more antibiotics for even longer period to get the infection out before he could even extract it. When he extracted it, there was a hole that went all the way from my the tooth all the way up into my sinus cavity. So one of the crazy effects of that is whenever I was drinking, I had to plug my nose to drink with a straw because when I started sucking here, it would suck air through my nose through that hole back into my mouth, and I wouldn't be able to drink. It was crazy. And the drainage from that, it was so bad. So anyhow, let's see here. I dip so it makes sense, and I think you understand. Huh. Okay, I see you guys talking. Let me see if there's any more questions for me, and I might get off here. Tons of years. Okay. Yoshi is 3.4. You know what? Oh man, there's something. This is something weird. It made my tooth feel better. Well, gargling salt water, that helped. That's what the salt stuff reminded me of this. And then for whatever reason, I was worried about bending over to pick up something because I figured that would hurt my mouth. Well, I was messed up. Went over to pick up something kind of heavy at work while I was leaned way over. And when I went to pick it up, the pressure built up in my, the blood pressure builds up, and part of your body when you're bent over like that to lift. And it was a pop. It was like a physical pop inside that area where all that infection was at. It was before they pulled it, and the pain went away instantly. I mean, it was like an instant pain relief. It was the weirdest thing ever. So then, if every time I started getting a really a lot of pain, I would just bend over and like strain a little bit, put the pressure like going through a G suit, just hunker down and boom, it'd pop and it'd be it. It was crazy. I'm trying to again too, and it worked on another tooth I had too. But I don't know, it was weird. So everybody's gonna be different. Okay, let me see. Um, oh yeah, 10 to 12 inches if you're playing escape it. Yeah, I would. Yeah, because I'm not escaping any of mine. These are all just breeder tanks pretty much. So there's no fancy aquascape at all. It's just throw some plants in there, guppy grass, stuff like that. Let's see. I'm scrolling down through here. Lots of cool conversation going on about the salinities of things. That's cool. Uh, so salty. Any more events coming up soon? Yeah, there was. Let me see here soon. Well, there is some kind of a smaller fish show going on in San Antonio. What weekend was that? It was coming up here in February. It was February 17th. There was a San Antonio fish show. I just found out about that today. A friend of mine asked me if I was going to that, but I'm definitely not. Let's see. What else was there? Go back here. Hit the wrong button. Get the AKA May 16th through the 20th. Upper Shella, May 18th to 19th. NAMFA. Then we have Keystone Clash in October, and then December is the Houston show. This is the only thing I know is coming up anytime soon. Uh, Aquatic Moose, you're welcome. Hit the wrong button. I'm not sure what link that is, but I'm sure it's a good link. That should be close to you. Oh, it must be a link to an event. Looks like I'm getting close to the bottom. Nothing really helps. Jaw clenching. Yep. Jaw steps. Ooh, clenching. That sucked, man. Guppy grass or anacris and why? Uh, Really, the difference would be whatever grows better. Guppy grass goes better for me because the guppy grass I use is collected locally in one of the streams here. That's kind of a non-native species. So that's we have an Acarus too in here. I collected some of that too. It just doesn't seem to do as well. That's for me. That's my choice. And see, hornwort. See, some people love hornwort. Hornwort. We even have hornwort. There's a ton of it in Lake Worth. Man, and when I go collect it, it's just full of scuds too. My hands are just covered in scuds. It's an absolute crazy amount of scuds. And if I bring that home, I'll put it in the tanks. It lasts for a little while. I think I have some in one of these tanks. Which one was it? I think there's some in there. And it does okay. Outside, it does pretty decent. But the guppy grass outdoes it, man, a lot. So there's just a lot of variables. It's hard to say what'll work for you because what works for me is not going to work for everybody else. There's too many variables. The lights, the fish I have in there, the water chemistry. It's just how much flow you have. It doesn't. It all depends. It's just too many. Scrolling down. I finally got to the bottom. Woohoo! So anyhow, guys, thanks for joining me tonight. I plan on doing this again next week. Maybe I'll have something prepared. We'll talk more about a specific type of killifish. If if there's anything you want me to talk about, especially any particular type of killifish or a group or anything like that, please let me know. Either whenever this goes, put it in the comment section later on, or get with me and let me know if you're curious about something. It'd be pretty cool to be able to help you guys out. I have an idea. I might do something like maybe a Strells. After you see me on Strells next time and focus on those. But I don't know. We'll see. Well, thank you for joining me. Have a great evening.